Hello my loves, what's up, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the May 2022 month ahead prediction. This is going to be a pick a card reading, and if you are new to them, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of how they work. We're also going to be popping some crystals on these cards if it helps you to choose with the energy of crystals. But basically this is going to be as much detail as we can get about your month of May. So with that being said, if you are new here, basically how this works is over here we have pile number 1, then we have pile number 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment and pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the description box as well as the comment box so that you can click and skip ahead right to your particular pile, right to your group, so that you can get your month prediction for the month of May of 2022. If you like to choose with crystals on these cards, then let's go ahead and pop some crystals on these cards. All right, my loves, if you like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. Over here on group number 1, we have this beautiful piece of pyrite. Over on group number 2, we have this beautiful piece of sunset aura quartz. This stone always reminds me of Egypt for some reason. But yeah, we have that one for pile number 2. For group 3, we have this beautiful aqua aura quartz. Then on group number 4, we have this beautiful piece of citrine. So again, take a moment to pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card. And then you can skip ahead and watch your personal prediction all about your month of May of 2022. So with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading, so let's hop right into it. All right, so the first two sort of theme cards that we have coming up for you are adventure and individuality. And the first thing that I noticed is that we have a number 55 and a number 11 on these cards. So this is kind of like both some angel number energy going on. And the 5s deal with radical change. And when you add up the two 5s, it equals a 1 in numerology. And then we also have like 1s here. So it kind of is like they go together really well, basically. And this deals with a lot of change. So you might notice that certain things start shifting in your life in the month of May, and it's gonna cause you to go on like a different sort of adventure with your life because there's gonna be some shifts happening. And these shifts are happening so that you can discover more of your individuality so that you feel more comfortable being you. And you know, I think it's an adventure of discovering yourself. The month of May for you, group 1, is going to be an adventure of discovering more about you, about your own individuality, about your uniqueness, and also starting to let that shine and come out in different ways. So you might start exploring different ways of self-expression, or even sort of discovering something new that you're interested in. And it's going to help you kind of discover more about yourself because you might be stumbling across something that piques your interest. And it might be something that you end up exploring. It could even be literal travel. There could be a place that you're very curious about exploring. Or it could be more of like information or another interest or a creative pursuit, or you just sort of realizing that you want to kind of come out of your shell a little bit more rather than holding back. And then the number 11 right here, this can be taken as the master number 11, or it can also be broken down into the number 2. Master number 11 is kind of like we're learning and accumulating all of the old lessons that we've learned and using it to our benefit. So I think that so far, I'm kind of getting this message where I'm hearing that the last year for you has been a huge like learning year where you've probably gone through a lot of different types of scenarios. And I think that you've been doing a lot of reflection on that. A lot of reflection on like, why did this happen to me? And like, why am I getting this outcome? I think that you've just been going through massive self-growth. And the month of May is like, all of a sudden the adventure starts stemming out of this growth that you've had. Because this is all accumulated to this moment, to this month of May, where now you're gonna begin to express yourself in different ways, and you're gonna start going down a brand new path because of the learning that you've had, because of these like discoveries, And also, I think that there's going to be more learning in the month of May, something that you're coming across, something that's inspiring to you, that's sort of going to lead you down a new rabbit hole. And I think your life is going to begin shifting and changing because you are kind of like going off into a new direction. And I think you're going to discover many new things on this new path, and it's going to be great. And the month of May, again, is that month where it's kind of like the accumulation point of the past year of learning for you. And it's going to start getting so much better from here because you've really started to integrate these lessons and all that jazz. So with that being said, let's get into the tarot cards that we have pulled for you. We have the Lovers, we have the Hangman, the King of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Cups. A lot of face cards. So there could be, this could be a month where you are getting in touch with a lot of people. Like perhaps you're making new friends and stuff. Like let's lay out these cards and let's talk about it. So basically what I'm seeing, get these all situated nicely. Okay, so basically what I'm seeing for you, group one, is possibly meeting new people, or this could be you kind of connecting to another aspect of yourself, new information, connecting down a new path. But this can also be you making new partnerships or getting deeper on certain partnerships as well. And there could be something like an idea that you have that maybe is on hold, or maybe you're realizing that you need to put certain stuff on hold in order to kind of explore this new idea or kind of go down this new road. But I do think that there's going to be a stronger connection being made in the month of May for you. I'm definitely seeing another person in your life that you're just kind of like discussing ideas with. And maybe these ideas aren't happening quite yet. Like maybe we're not taking action on these ideas quite yet. But I see you kind of discussing and exploring like new ideas because of this sort of like new information that you're coming across, this new learning that you're doing, this new self-discovery. And I think it's gonna lead to just more inspiration. And I see you kind of sharing this inspiration with somebody and having some sort of like deeper talks about it. And yeah, just like exploring ideas. Although I don't think May is the month where you're actually going to take full action on these ideas, I definitely see these ideas sort of being explored. This could also be like a partner of yours, like if you're in a relationship or if you're kind of seeing somebody, this can talk about us sort of, you know, kind of like talking further about certain things, but maybe we're not taking action on those things quite yet. So that's another aspect that can be seen within these two cards. The King of Swords, though, you are definitely grabbing hold of brand new ideas. I see you learning more. I see you being very curious in the month of May. Possibly you are brainstorming a lot of ideas, maybe planning something, like putting something together in a plan, and getting ready to kind of like take action on it. This is something that I think you're going to be really excited about, like a topic that you're really excited to explore more of, or I don't know, putting something together that you're kind of like really excited to take action on. And I do see you kind of like eventually maybe moving forward with this by the end of May and sort of maybe like exploring it deeper and taking a bit more action on it by the end of May. But I'm seeing you kind of like gathering people that you need for something, like maybe making deeper connections, networking, exploring ideas with like-minded people that help you kind of like get on the right track. Maybe also you're discovering who you really are and you're interested in making new friendships, or exploring certain friendships deeper because of the new you that's sort of emerging here. I'm definitely seeing more people coming into your life in the month of May, and exploring new topics and ideas that seem very interesting to you. The Six of Wands is a card that's very much about a feeling of success or accomplishment. So maybe we haven't like made it to the very end goal quite yet, but there is some sort of like success or accomplishment that's happening in May that I think you're going to be very proud of, that I think you're going to be acting on further, that you're going to be like, you know what, I really like what I'm doing here. I really like where this is going. I want to explore this more. I want to get deeper into this. The Knight of Wands is definitely about taking action, and he's also the card of adventure. So it's interesting that we have adventure and then the Knight of Wands, because those two cards are very much about kind of like taking a leap of faith and going on to a new path. So I think there is a new path that you are sort of creating for yourself, Group 1. And it's definitely a path that you are excited about. You're not doing this for anybody else. This is about you and your individuality, and about making the partnerships that you need and discussing the ideas with the people that are in resonance with you, so that you can like bring these ideas to life. The King of Cups is somebody who is emotionally very stable. So I think this is you getting into a much better emotional place, where I think you're gonna feel more fulfilled and more in control of your emotions. Like I'm seeing this energy of you just wanting to kind of like take control of you, take control of your destiny. But at the same time, it's not like this forceful energy. It's sort of just like going with the flow of it and acting on your inspirations. So that's very positive. But yeah, another thing, I'm definitely seeing people actually cheering you on for something. That's interesting. Group 1, I'm curious how that's going to play out for you, because with that 6 of Wands here, and the fact that we have so many like court cards, I'm seeing like people, I hit the camera, but I'm seeing people cheering you on something, or being very supportive of you, or very proud of you for a certain maybe shift that you're making, or like just you sort of coming out of your shell and expressing that individuality. I see like a lot of support from the people that are around you. I'm seeing you kind of a bit more in the spotlight of your friend group, maybe like friends texting you about like, what's going on now? Like, what are you gonna do now? Like, what's happening next for you? I'm really excited for you. What's on the schedule? What's going on? But yeah, I'm definitely seeing people being very supportive of this. So yeah, gaining more people, gaining more attention, support. This could even be, you just feeling ultimately very proud of yourself and the new direction that you're going in. And very happy about this like new plan that you're putting together, or new idea that you're putting together. I see you exploring new knowledge, getting deeper on knowledge. And it's opening up a brand new doorway and a brand new adventure for you. So with that being said, let's get into some more cards here. So we also have, what more can I say, Group 1? We have the cards of Birds of a Feather, and we're talking about the people that you're gonna be surrounded by. And it's so interesting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have like these people cards. We have 3 court cards, and then also the Lovers can kind of be counted as another person as well. So that's interesting. I'm definitely seeing you opening up doorways with people that really resonate with you, possibly making new friends, or getting deeper with people that you're finally like really resonating with. This could also be just like, again, more support of your friends in general. And then maybe even putting like certain relationships on pause, because there's like, you are sort of shifting, and so maybe there's certain relationships that you're putting on pause and then focusing more of your attention on ones that you really like resonate with. This could even be you putting certain plans and certain old aspects of yourself on pause. So for example, if we used to enjoy whatever, we used to enjoy like coffee or whatever, but now we're realizing, like it doesn't actually make me feel the greatest. I get a lot of anxiety or whatever. And so it's like putting certain aspects of your old self on pause so that you can finally start to uplift these new aspects of yourselves that are really inspiring to you. that make you feel accomplished, that make you feel good. So I'm definitely seeing you putting more of a focus towards that. We also have the time machine card. So this could be when we are making like leaps and bounds into our new self. This can also mean when we're doing better within time management. So that kind of correlates to what we were saying about putting different aspects of yourself on pause, maybe different people on pause, because you're focused more on your time and how you want to spend that time. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing reorganization of your time. Ooh, and then we have beautiful and caging. So finally opening up your heart in new ways to let your individuality sing. These cards are like the same color, so I'm feeling a huge connection between them right now. And it kind of makes sense because it's like you're opening up your heart to let your individuality shine in the month of May, to really like come out as like the full you that you are. And both of these numbers added up together is another 5, which is interesting. So we have a lot of 5 energy in this group. Lots of shifts and changes and kind of like embracing the change that's kind of coming your way. So with that being said, the next 2 cards, we have the unexpected visitors with also another 4 and 1, which is another 5. So a lot of shifts and changes. Unexpected visitors can talk about brand new friendships coming into your life. It can talk about unexpected events kind of happening in your life that we weren't really planning for. So there could be certain shifts in your life that maybe you weren't planning for, but it's kind of like, well, it's here now. So we're just going to kind of go with the flow of it. But it's all kind of bringing you to this point of where it's time to let your individuality begin to shine. Maybe we're accumulating more of an audience. Maybe more people are looking at your social media wondering what you're doing, because maybe there's certain shifts that are happening in your life that people are like, ooh, this is exciting, I want to know more. Like people want to know more about what it is you're going through, because there's like unexpected sort of stuff happening in your life that people find interesting. So yeah, we also have the movement card, which is interesting because that's kind of like the adventure card that we have. So excuse me. I like just got out of bed like an hour ago, so still yawning a little bit. But the movement card is you kind of, again, moving down a new path. This one's kind of self-explanatory. This can also be like doing a literal move or literal travel, literal adventure, because we have the Knight of Wands, which can symbolize adventure. And then we have the adventure card and also movement. So there could be like a trip that you're planning, maybe like a getaway, or maybe there's something coming up in your life where you are like, oh, I have to take like an unexpected trip somewhere. So yeah, that's basically what we have going on over here, group number 1. It definitely looks like a lot of goodness and sort of up-leveling your energy, spending your time a little bit differently, kind of spending your time more towards the people that you really resonate with, and uplifting those friendships a lot and gaining a lot of support from these people. It's like there's people giving you a lot of recognition and a lot of praise for whatever it is that you're doing, and giving you a lot of support and also attention. There's people that I think are really like looking at your social media a lot, wondering like, ooh, what are you doing? Because like, it's curious, like maybe you're letting on some information, but not a lot, and it's gaining a lot of like people's attention or something. I don't know, but people are curious about what it is that you're doing in the month of May. I can tell you that, group number 1, and it's all about the individuality that you're finally letting shine. Like I think you're opening up more, and like there's more adventure happening in your life, more movement, and you're just really starting to unlock your heart. And because of that, you're letting more of that unique part of yourself shine, which I feel like is garnering support and finally attracting the attention of people that really flock with you. You know what I mean? Birds of a feather flock together. So yeah. think you're gaining more attention from those types of people, which is great. So that is what we have over here for you, group 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 2, if you chose this pile with the crystal that reminds me of Egypt, this is going to be your reading. So let's hop right into it. All right, so group 2, we have the card of Follow Your Dreams and Creativity as your main month theme cards. So with these 2 cards together, these are very positive. It's a very positive energy. I think that there's something that you've been wanting to do, something that you've been wanting to pursue in your life that maybe we've just been reluctant on, or maybe we didn't have the right resources to act upon it, or etc., etc. I see in the month of May that there's like some doorways, some opportunities opening up for you to actually kind of follow these new paths and to sort of begin doing something that you've been maybe thinking about. Like maybe we didn't have the right time for it, you know, maybe we didn't have enough time, maybe we just didn't have enough courage, maybe we just didn't have whatever, the amount of money to invest into it, whatever the case may be. But the month of May, I really see you actually opening up this doorway of opportunity and following something that you've been meaning to do, following something that you've been desiring to do. So the month of May is really opening up that doorway for you. And then we also have the card here of creativity. And so this is kind of like you letting your inner voice start to shine. And this could even be like a creative project for some of you. This could be like you letting your uniqueness shine a little bit more, because the yellow of this card is connected to the solar plexus, which is you kind of shining something, you sort of revealing the curtain. Like, you know, on like a theater, like when you pull back the curtain, that's like the month of May for you. That's what the solar plexus is all about, because the solar plexus is connected to the sun. It means you're shining something. It means you're showing something, showing a new aspect of yourself. Or maybe you've been working on something that you're finally going to reveal in the month of May, that you're finally going to open up about in the month of May. Because the yellow is all about that revealing. It's that sun. It attracts energy. It brings life. So I feel like you are bringing more life to your life in the month of May, rather than sort of like doing the same thing over and over again. I see you bringing in more of your uniqueness, sort of starting to chase those dreams that you've been wanting to chase, following this path that's sort of been like on the back of your mind, and it's finally sort of coming to this fruition of you expressing it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what kind of tarot cards that we have for you. So I pulled these earlier. Let's see. Ooh, very nice. So we have the 9 of Swords, the 6 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Emperor, the Lovers, and the 6 of Wands here. So let me just lay all of these out so that we can get a better view of them. All right, so group 2. I don't know if there's been something that's been looming on the back of your mind that's been causing you stress, because the 9 of Swords, when that comes up, especially right front and center, while you're watching this, you might even be kind of like, yep, going through a stressful moment, going through a stressful time, you know, and it's just like, look at that. It's like we're on the edge of a cliff and we feel like we're about to fall off any second, or we feel like we can't get any sleep because we're like, I'm about to fall off the edge of a cliff, you know, and it's just kind of like, we might be getting bad dreams, we might be just overly stressed, not getting enough sleep, or maybe our sleep is kind of disrupted lately. I see this kind of like coming to an end in the month of May, because we have the 6 of Cups here, and the 6 of Cups is a card where we sort of return to our more like childlike view of life, where we use our imagination a lot more. We're getting ideas out of nowhere, and we're realizing like, hey, I'm actually worthy of certain things that maybe I used to put on a pedestal. It's like, let's not put them on a pedestal anymore. Let's start to dream a bit more like a child again, because maybe we've been taking life a little bit too seriously lately. And I see you in the month of May returning more to this sort of like fun view of life and realizing, you know what? I need to stop taking stuff so seriously, because it's like weighing on me. You know, the bad thing about stress and worry is it usually comes up when we're going through a really hard time, obviously. But when we're going through a hard time, the worst thing that we could do is be super stressed about it, because when we're super stressed, going through a hard time, it's very hard for us to get sleep and function properly when, you know, when we're going through a stressful time. It's pretty much imminent, like, hey, we need to be able to function real well right now. But then we can't sleep and get the proper, like, I don't know, energy that we need in order to feel good, in order to kind of have the energy to do what we need to do. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword when we're stressed. It doesn't help anybody. So what I'm seeing in the month of May is you kind of like coming back to this more silly, goofy view of life and realizing like, hey, I'm just gonna laugh at my problems instead, because it puts me in a better mood, and then I have better energy to kind of like face it and deal with it. Whereas before, it's kind of like, or going backwards, you know? So I definitely see the end of that in the month of May. I just see this goofy energy where I think you are just being a lot easier on yourself and realizing like, hey, I need to like relax and have fun as well, rather than just kind of like sit there and loom on my problems. It's sort of like we start viewing our problems with more of a fun outlook, and we're just like giggly about it, we're laughing, we're having a good time. So we also have the Ace of Swords right here. So this is a new mindset that I think you're going to start adopting in the month of May. And I think that this is happening early on in the month of May, like within the first week, maybe the first 10 days of May, that you are sort of creating this new mindset for yourself. And it's one where you're seeing yourself a lot more powerful, whereas before we're kind of like in this defeat mindset, where maybe we feel a little bit more fearful of our problems, maybe we're fearing a certain outcome. But I think as we go through May a little bit more, I see you really taking back your power and kind of like cutting the strings of the things that were once holding you back. So it's kind of like you're grabbing the sword. You're kind of like the emperor who is holding his, like, the Triton, right? Or what's that thing called? I forgot what that's called. I think it's called the Triton, or is that what's hit? I don't know. Anyway, he grabs that thing, which is almost like grabbing the sword. So it's like you grabbing hold of your mentality, grabbing hold of your mind, and being like, you know what, mind? You don't control me, I control you. So let's work together now. Let's start like going in the direction that you deliberately want to go in. Let's start doing things that serve you rather than hinder you, right? Because when we're stressed, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to lift ourselves up, not loom and tear ourselves down deeper into the problem. So I'm definitely seeing you coming out of this very strong. I'm seeing by the middle of May that you're gonna feel more on top of your game than you have in a long time. I am seeing you feeling more creative. You might even get an idea, like an idea that helps you get out of this slum. And it's like you're grabbing hold of this idea and you're like, oh, hell yeah. Like, why didn't I think of that sooner? This is great. This solves everything. I see you solving this problem by middle of May. It's like, oh yeah, of course, like, duh. And it's gonna really help you gain back a lot of confidence, a lot of security in your life, a lot of self-assurance, and things like that. And then we also have the Lovers card, which can be, this can talk about a few different things. So first off, I'm seeing it represent more of you. Like the Lovers can represent you and another person, but what I'm really seeing in this particular reading, especially since we have the Emperor like directly right before it, I'm seeing this as you and how you view yourself and how you show up to society, because the Lovers can also be our authenticity. So how authentic are we being? How open are we being? I see you by the end of May, middle end of May, kind of coming out of your shell more and being less hard on yourself, because I think that the reason why this whole like situation here happened was we were maybe tearing ourselves down for the past little while, and then it brought us to this sort of like low point where we're like, why are things going wrong in my life? And it's sort of this realization like, oh, I've been kind of like shoving myself in the corner. I've been kind of like being really hard on myself. You know, when we tear ourselves apart, of course we're not going to shine bright, but a lot of the times, like, I feel like in society, it's so easy for us to like gain this subconscious program that whenever we're disappointed in ourselves, or whenever we have an aspect of ourselves that we don't like, we tend to rip it apart to pieces, and we tend to be really harsh on ourselves because that's what we see other people doing. That's sort of like what is normal. It's normal to tear people apart. Like, how dare you do that? And how dare you have this aspect? And I don't love you because of that. And da 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 da. You know, like all these things. And of course, that's like, we know that that's not good. We know that that's toxic, but it's a pretty common thing. Like we see it in movies a lot. We see it in TV shows, all sorts of different things. So whenever we have an aspect of ourselves that we don't really like, it's almost like we're programmed to just automatically tear ourselves apart. Whereas I think what you're learning in the month of May is, if I don't like a certain aspect of myself, I need to uplift myself out of that. I need to accept myself for who I am and lift myself up out of the problem, not push myself deeper into the problem and be hard on myself. Because it's literally like, if your problem was a hole, when we're being hard on ourselves, we're literally putting ourselves deeper into that hole, and we're like, how dare I be that way? Or like, I'm so disappointed in myself. Like, I'm the reason for all my problems. And like, oh, the world is so hard. It's like, we're literally pushing ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper. But instead, I think what you're learning, again, and I know I'm being repetitive on this, but Spirit is like, sink in this message because it's important. Okay, so what you're gonna start doing is, I think there's a lot of self-love and self-acceptance right here, and bringing yourself up. So it's like, whenever we disappoint ourselves in a certain way, it's like, oh, you know what? Laugh it off. Be a bit more childlike and be like, ha, like, whoops, that was a little mistake right there. But then let's bring ourselves up out of it. Let's be like, I'm going to uplift myself out of this hole so that I don't repeat it. And even if I do, haha, laugh again, bring myself out. Don't push deeper, because that doesn't solve anything. Right? It doesn't solve anything. So we need to love ourselves out of the mess, not tear ourselves deeper into it. And then we also have the Six of Wands right here, which is you finally shining your light, and like, just a lot of like creative energy and feeling like you can be authentic. The Six of Wands is someone who celebrates themselves, who's feeling really good and on top of their game. So I'm seeing the Lovers showing up as self-love. I'm really seeing it showing up as self-love, especially because even in the depiction of this card, she's looking in the mirror at herself. She's not looking at another person. So that's a really cool interpretation of this particular deck, that this artist, you know, decided to put the Lovers like that. And that's exactly the message that I was like feeling in this group. So I am seeing so much more self-love, and I see you kind of like being like, you know what? I need to encourage myself, not discourage myself. And I see you being really proud of yourself at the end of the month. I see you expressing yourself more than ever, which is interesting because we had the creativity card is that solar plexus energy, that yellow energy, which is all about expression. Oh, and then you know what is crazy? I literally picked the yellow crystal for your pile. I didn't even notice that for a second, but I just thought of that. I picked the yellow crystal for your pile, the sunset aura quartz. So that's so interesting because you were drawn to this group. And I think even the back of the cards have like this yellow sort of like sun situation on them. But like, yeah, it's, wow, okay. You're starting to let your authenticity shine, and it's going to be so freeing and liberating. And you're going to feel like yourself again because, ooh, there's this particular kind of like message that I just had on the tip of my tongue and it like went away. I don't know. It went away, but regardless, I'm sure it'll come up again if it's important. I just see you expressing yourself so much more and stepping into your authenticity. So with that being said, the next three cards, we have endless possibilities. So I think you're opening up your world and what you think is possible for you. Whereas before you're just like, I can't do it. And then the month of May is kind of like, you know what? I freaking got this. I got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. I'm just going to step into my power. Like the Emperor is like, powerful energy. It's kind of like this Arthur energy that I'm getting from these two cards of like pulling the sword out of the stone and being strong enough to do that. I see the month of May for you, group 2. You're strong enough, you're pulling the sword out of the stone, you know, and realizing your power. You know, there's endless possibilities in front of you. You can create anything. And so I think you're just stepping back into your creativity and your power. Call of the Muse. I think you're also finally like just following this soul calling that you're getting. And also when we have a muse, like something that we're amused by or something that's like entertaining for us, something that we're like, ooh, I like that, I'm inspired by it, something that's creative. You are following this creative energy, which makes sense because we have follow your dreams and creativity. You're being called, your soul is like calling you to do this, to follow this creativity, to go in this direction, to find that inspiration and just like follow it rather than feeling like, oh, I'm not worthy. Who am I to follow that? Who am I to do that? The month of May is just like, no, let's step into starlight energy. Like 6 of Wands right here, my love. Let's just sit on our throne and be us. The 6 of Wands is also this energy where we are getting maybe recognition from other people, support from other people, and we also start getting very proud of ourselves. We might be kind of starting to do something where we're actually getting further ahead than we thought, and we're making a lot more progress than we thought, and we're like, you know what, I am so proud of myself. There might be an accomplishment that is worth celebrating, or again, the curtains are being pulled back on something, and you're finally like revealing something or just being more you, and it is being celebrated. We also have awakening genius, so you also could be downloading so many more ideas. The Ace of Swords can be interpreted as a new idea, and it looks like you're kind of like pursuing it and just doing some self-talk like, I got this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Like I just see you talking to yourself and viewing yourself in a new way, and instead of like feeling like you can't, I almost see you giving yourself pep talks like, I got this, I can do this, I can do this, and I see you being successful at it because we have the 6 of Wands, so I definitely see it turning out successfully. So yeah, with that being said, next 2 cards that we have here, we have, Bone Collector. So this is some lessons that we've had in the past that are finally accumulating to this point of us learning them. And this could be different aspects of yourself that you've turned off, but like your spirit ancestors have been like, you know what, that was an important part of you. Like maybe you let some of your childhood innocence go. Maybe you let some of that childhood creativity and expression go. Like you've kind of like discarded certain parts of yourself, and your spirit guides, your spirit team have been like, okay, I'll hold on to this for you and I'll return it to you when you're ready, whenever you want it back. Whenever you want that amazing childlike creativity back, I got it, I'm holding it for you. So it's like they're holding space, and I think that you're reawakening your genius, you're reawakening your soul, because it's been torn down a little bit and you've been tearing out pieces of you that want to come back. And the month of May is these coming back. We also have peaks of joy. So yes, you are getting your enthusiasm for life back, group 2. Like if it was gone a little bit through this stressful period, you're accumulating your enthusiasm, your joy, and your creativity back. That self-expression that you feel so excited to just be like, I'm just gonna express. So yeah, it's also interesting. We have the 3 here, and then we have the 3-3. There is definitely something to celebrate in the month of May for you, group 2. There's definitely like, yeah, something that you are proud of, that you're like, we need to go out for dinner and like cheers and like celebrate, that's the 3 energy. And the fact that we have that coming up with the 6 of Wands, there's definitely going to be something at the end of May that you're just like, I need to celebrate it. And that could even be you celebrating yourself, celebrating your courage to get through this and to kind of grab hold of this idea and just go for it and do it. So yes, that is what we have over here for you, group number 2, for the month of May. It looks like a lot of good things are happening, overcoming a lot of like old stuff and going for it. So I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group 3, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be a reading for the month of May, so let's hop right into it. All right, so group 3, really interesting that the 2 theme cards that we have for you for the month of May both deal with spirituality, which is interesting. So I'm curious if some of you have been a little bit more on a spiritual path lately, or been trying to focus more on your spirituality. This could also be focusing more on your soul and your inner self, and taking care of your inner self, and kind of focusing on more big picture stuff rather than like the menial stuff. So yeah, we have spiritual career and also spiritual partnerships. So this is making me feel like your month of May has a big focus on possibly like self-development and wanting to become like the best version of yourself, and wanting to sort of begin to attract the best possible circumstances your way. And of course we always want to do that, right? Of course we want the best possible circumstances, but spiritual career is sticking out to me in the fact that maybe during the month of May, you're wanting to like have more purpose. You're wanting to like create more purpose for yourself, and do something that is fulfilling on a soul level. Like it's possible that maybe you're desiring to like uplift people more. Like maybe a lot of your empath emotions have been coming out lately, and maybe part of you is just like, I really want to like help people in a certain way, or have like a bigger impact. Spiritual career is all about having a bigger impact. So it's making me feel like the month of May, you're really thinking about, oh, how can I like really be the best version of myself so that I can do things that are like ultimately very fulfilling, and that, you know, you leave like a really good footprint behind on this planet. Spiritual partnership can come up when we are focused on surrounding ourselves with people that are like-minded to us. So wanting to be around people that really resonate with us and resonate with our way of thinking, and starting to like, you know, put ourselves in those situations and start saying kind of no to, you know, maybe people, places, or things that don't really resonate with us. So yeah, there could also be like a new career that you're wanting to pursue for some of you, like maybe a side job or something, or maybe wanting to do some shifts around maybe your career or the people that you are around most often. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take out our tarot cards to see some other information that we have on here. Okay, we have the 6 of Wands, which is really interesting because this came up for every single pile so far. And I'm using different decks. So yeah, different decks for each group. And it's really interesting. There's like 78 cards in a tarot deck. And this has come up for every group so far, and we've only been pulling 6 cards per group, which is so weird. So yeah, we have that. We also have 4 of Wands, which is good. That's at least a different card. We have the King of Wands coming up. We have the 3 of Cups. And we have a lot of cards here. I need to make more room, actually. So, and then we have Page of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Swords, and then the Knight of Wands, which is also interesting because these 2 cards have been coming up a decent amount as well. Really interesting energy that we have for the month of May. I think a lot of us are going through kind of like similar stuff right now in the collective, since we have a lot of similar cards showing up for the groups. But yeah, let's get into what all of this kind of means. So the 6 of Wands is a really great card. And when we start off with it, I think you're realizing that you want more purpose in your life, and maybe you want to pursue something a little bit bigger and kind of like create a new foundation for yourself. When it's next to the 4 of Wands, this can talk about creating a new solid plan or a solid foundation. This can also be you sort of celebrating this new energy in your life, because maybe there's some sort of new energy coming in that I think that you are excited about. And with the King of Wands is interesting because he's like a leader. This could be you stepping into more of a leadership role in your life, or possibly meeting somebody who is leading you down or guiding you down a very inspiring path of helping you realize your ability and your power. Or again, it could be yourself just stepping into that role and becoming that more like inspiring energy. I'm really seeing like a desire for more purpose though. And I think that you sort of have a vision in your head of what that might look like. And I definitely see you pursuing that more. And then there might be something to kind of like maybe celebrate. Also, it's interesting you have spiritual partnership along with the Three of Cups, because the Three of Cups can talk about friendship. And this can mean that maybe we are focused on spending more time with people that we really resonate with, that seem like they're on the same path as us. This might even be you putting like more of a team together, a team of friends or something, to be like, you know what, like, let's like make this purpose happen, or let's like do this whatever thing. But yeah, it's definitely like awakening more purpose. It's interesting, we also have a lot of pink and a lot of purple in this group, like through all the cards that we have here. This is connecting to the higher heart chakra and also the crown chakra. So I feel like you're almost getting a calling to follow something that's really resonating in your heart. And it's like, ooh, we really want to pursue that. There's an energy of wanting to pursue that. So yeah, and then we also have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is this idea of what we could build in our future. There might be some things where we're still like working through them, because the Nine of Swords can come up when we are battling some certain things that might be holding us back, or battling certain fears that are coming up when it comes to us pursuing our dreams. Or the more we go down a spiritual path, we might realize, you know, certain aspects of ourselves that we need to overcome, right? Because we always have like certain things, certain aspects of our personality that we're like, you know what, I need to change this if I am going to pursue this. So for example, sometimes we're like, I need to get a little healthier if I am going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to need to eat healthier. Like, you know, if we're going to be in the spotlight, for example, or if we're going to like be somebody that is helping other people, first we need to kind of like help ourselves. So we cannot preach, be a healthy person, have a healthy lifestyle, and da 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 if we're not doing that ourselves. So there could be certain things that in your life you're like, ooh, I kind of need to shift this if I am wanting to be this best version of myself. But I'm definitely seeing you kind of like making new friends or getting in touch with a deeper purpose for yourself. Yeah, and this deeper purpose could just be as simple as like making others feel good, like wanting to uplift your friends, wanting to like make them feel the best. You might be learning new things, for example, and you're like, hey, I want to like uplift my friends. I want them to know about this. I want them to feel as good as I feel, because maybe you're learning all these new things and you're like, oh, hell yeah, this is like really uplifting me. And maybe you're like, I want to uplift my friends. I want them to know about this too. So that could also be like the aspect of spiritual career. It could be as simple as, you know, wanting to tell everybody around you maybe like the discoveries that you're having and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely see you kind of like overcoming certain maybe fears or obstacles that you've had and stepping more into this action-oriented mindset, because the Knight of Wands is a card that symbolizes action, inspiration, acting upon our inspiration, leading with inspiration, leading with our heart, like wherever our heart is guiding us. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like good energy that's allowing you to move forward, but there might be something that you're dealing with middle to end of May that's coming up, but I don't think it's going to be that hard to kind of like overcome. This could be something that has been going on for a while, that I think that by the end of May, you're just like, you know what? I have the solution. I'm going to get over it. You know, it might be that we have hesitation upon beginning something. There might be fears or hesitation that I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not good enough to start this, because the Page of Pentacles is about starting something, starting a journey, and wanting to be like we might be perfectionists and we're like, oh, I can't begin it. But the month of May, it's kind of like, you know what? Either I'm going to do it now or I'm going to do it never. And I think you have support of the people around you that are like, go for it, like do this, yes, like totally. Like you have people that would be cheering you on. And I think it's just getting over a certain fear around doing it, or maybe it's stressful at times because maybe it feels like we don't have enough time, or maybe it just feels like it's a lot at times, or maybe again we just have certain fears holding us back. But I really see you overcoming a certain fear holding you back on something and chasing it and being like, you know what, I just got to take a leap of faith. The Knight of Wands is kind of like, close your eyes and just go. Close your eyes and just do it, you know? So there's something that I think you're acting upon where you're just like, close your eyes and just do it. Or this could even be wanting a very particular outcome, and maybe a certain outcome is a little bit different than we expected, but it's like, there's this energy of don't give up, just keep going for it, because this is leading you where you need to be. This is leading you where you need to go. So interesting stuff that's coming up so far, group 3. So the next few cards, we have Seeing Beyond. Some of you might start getting like some psychic dreams, or awakening certain like psychic abilities, like your empathic abilities might be on a little bit more than normal. Seeing beyond can also be that we're like getting glimpses of our future, and we're like, ooh, like I want to really go for that. I want to create that. Maybe we're having glimpses of what we're supposed to do and where we're supposed to go with our lives. So a lot of psychic downloads happening in the month of May when we have this card coming up. We also have the Storyteller. Ooh, this could deal with writing. This could deal with planning. This could deal with you having a very important story to share, because maybe you're going through a lot of shifts and changes that maybe you're going to be like, ooh, this is like important for me to share this story, or this is important information that I want to put out there. For example, you might be learning new stuff, and then you have certain friends around you that you're like, ooh, I want to share what I'm learning because this is really exciting. And maybe not everybody is going to fully resonate with what we're sharing and what we're doing, but it is what it is. But there is going to be some sort of like important, I don't know, something that happens in the month of May where I think that you're going to be like, oh, I have to write down this story. I have to tell this. I have to do this. This could even be you planning and working on something. And then we also have quieting the mind. Some of you might get deeper into like meditation or other spiritual practices where you get to really start to open yourself up more, opening your mind. Also quieting the mind. It's interesting that this card is coming up and I'm placing it near the Nine of Swords, because this could mean that sometimes our mind overthinks things. Maybe we step in our own way. Maybe there's something that you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to go for it. And then maybe your mind is like, oh, well, are you? Are you ready? Is this good enough? Are you good enough? You know, maybe maybe we overthink things at certain times, and maybe we're putting something together in the month of May, and then we're second guessing ourselves. We're like, but really though, am I really going to do that? I think that you're getting over this by starting to quiet your mind and starting to be like, you know, sometimes my mind can be the thing that's holding me back, right? And the mind offers guidance because, it's good to sometimes have critique so that we can improve, but sometimes the mind gets like, it overthinks, right? And so the fact that with quieting the mind coming up, and it's, again, over top of the Nine of Swords, I really think that you're going to be like calming yourself. You're kind of going to be like, shh, it's okay. We're going to do it anyway. You know, we're going to do this anyway because we're going to learn as we go, right? We're going to learn as we go. So I really think that you're just going to start calming yourself in new ways and going for the things that you want to go for, and not like stand in your own way anymore. I feel like you're getting out of your own way in the month of May. The next couple cards, we have Wishing Well and Coming to Life. Whenever we have this card coming up, this is about making a wish for something. And this is a card that's like, it's gonna come true. It might take a little bit of time, but whatever you're wishing for right now is very promising to come true. Very promising. This is a card that also talks about becoming that of what you're wishing. So, for example, I'll just pull a random example out. If you are wanting to manifest a particular career, but maybe we don't feel like we are worthy of that, or we're just so far away from that in our current moment. The mask coming up talks about us, adopting that persona, whatever we're wishing for. So if you're wanting to become a writer, for example, because we have the storyteller card, if you're wanting to become a writer, it's kind of like, instead of us holding ourselves back and being like, I'm not a writer, but so I can't become a writer. It's like everyone who ever became a writer wasn't a writer when they were born. They were not born a writer. They were not born with a laptop in their hands. They were not born with a book in their hands. Like, nobody's born something, right? We all just become it. So if we want to become something, we need to start being that. So that's why this mask is coming out of the wishing well. So it's kind of like we're, tossing our coin in the wishing well and we're like, I want to become a writer. And then the mask comes out that's like, okay, then be that. Put this mask on until it becomes permanent. So what this is talking about is start writing. If you want to become a writer, start writing. And don't hold yourself back by being like, but I'm not a writer. It's like, just continue doing it and you're going to become one if you continue to pursue it. Just like if you're trying to, learn how to do a cartwheel and you're like, oh, but I can't do a cartwheel. It's like, well, none of us could until we could. None of us could until we kept doing it and built the skill. So keep doing it until you build the skill. Keep putting on this mask and writing. Keep writing until you're a writer. Keep doing a cartwheel, even if it's a little flop and then you fall on the ground a billion times. Keep doing it until you're a cartwheeler. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep doing it. So that's what this wishing well card talks about. It's like, whatever you're wishing for, start doing it, start being it. And then you will become it. I forgot that this card was right after it. That's so perfect. Coming to life. Keep doing it, and then you'll become it. You're going to come to life. That part of yourself is going to come to life. So it's time for us to keep pursuing it. For example, me becoming a tarot reader, I wasn't born out of the womb reading tarot. I did start at a young age though, but it doesn't matter what age you start at. My mom started as she was like, already in her adulthood. I started when I was really young. But you can start whenever, and you will become it the more that you do it. I was doing tarot every single day, like literally, I'm not even joking you, every single day for like years. It's been almost 16 years now that I've been doing tarot. So it's like, just become that, and then you will bring that aspect to life. You will awaken that part of yourself. And part of learning is actually just remembering. And if you think about that really deeply, it'll start to make sense. It doesn't make sense at first, but anyway, I'm not going to explain that quote because then we're going to be here for another 5 minutes. But yes, the month of May is about you kind of grabbing hold of this new energy that's been calling you, and not standing in your own way anymore, not getting down on yourselves, not overthinking things, not tiring yourself out by stressing yourself out and being like, but it's not good enough, and da, da, da. Time to let the stress go and just be and just do, because that is what your soul is calling you for right now, group number 3. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. That is what we have for the month of May for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group 4, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so group 4, we have leadership and communication as your monthly theme cards. Right when I saw the leadership card, I immediately started thinking that you are stepping more into knowing who you are, and excuse me, rather than kind of going with the crowd or listening to what other people think or listening to what other people say. I think that you're just stepping into more of this power of you knowing who you are. And the month of May is also calling you to be your own voice, which is why we have the communication card along with it. I'm just hearing be your own voice. This is you being your own voice, not listening to the opinions of other people or, going along with the crowd because the crowd is going in a certain direction. And, sometimes we feel shameful for not going along with the rest of the crowd. And sometimes, it takes a lot of courage to go on our own way. We have to be that leader, right? To go on our own way, to have our own voice, to kind of just like be ourselves, rather than kind of just like succumbing to pressures of society or, you know, and it's also something that we have to grow out of, because when we're kids, we, you know, always listen to other people to kind of like tell us what life is and how to go about doing life and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually when we reach adulthood, it's like we have to break out of that, but nobody kind of tells us to break out of that. But eventually we kind of realize like, there's something that doesn't feel right. I'm feeling pressured, or I feel like stuck in a shell. The month of May for you, group 4, is you coming out of your shell and being like, you know what? I need to start kind of making my own truth, leading my own life rather than looking up to others, because others know just as much as us. We all know nothing. That's the truth of it. None of us know anything. So, you know, let's just be our own leaders. And I think that there comes a time where all of us kind of need to step into that part of ourselves where we start leading ourselves. And I think for you, group 4, you're going to start to be your own voice. I'm also seeing voicing your own opinions. Like maybe there's certain friends or family members or, you know, people in your life that maybe have different opinions, and maybe we always feel like we're the odd one out or something. I don't know why I'm just seeing in this group, it's just like being your own voice, leading your own life. That's coming up as a major theme for you here. So let's get into our tarot cards to get some more information on this pile. Let's see what we pulled for you. We have the Page of Earth, the 9 of Earth, the Hermit card, the King of Air, and the 3 of Earth. A lot of Earth cards, my goodness. Okay, so let's place these here and let's talk about what all of this is. So the Hermit card being right front and center is really interesting, especially with what we were talking about in the beginning, because the Hermit deals with discovering your own truth. And it's also interesting that this is the 9th card, and then the leadership is a number 9 with the 8 and the 1. So that's interesting. And then we also have a lot of 3s as well, a lot of 9 energy. We have 9, 9, 9, 3, and 3. And then the other 2 cards that we have are court cards. So this is interesting, a lot of 9 and 3 energy, which are actually such divine numbers. So that's really special. 9s are all about closing out an old chapter. So I think that for you, group number 4, I think you're closing out an old chapter of your life and kind of creating a new one. And I think you're opening up your own doorway, creating your own doorway. The number 3s are all about celebration and communication, and kind of celebrating something. A lot of the times they deal with celebration of some kind, like a small celebration. So I think that the month of May is you beginning to discover your own truth, taking a deeper look into yourself, your beliefs, and leading your own path. It might honestly, I think that you might leave behind some like old things, old friendships. And it might not be that you like fully cut them out or anything, but I really think that you're almost just like starting your own journey and kind of like leading your own path. And you're okay with kind of being the odd one out at this point. You're like, ooh, I have like other interests and I have my own thing. And I think you're gonna really start to pursue that, because it's like your soul is calling you in a particular direction. And part of you is just like, I can no longer just like, you know, follow the crowd. You know, I can no longer just people please. I can no longer just follow what everyone else is doing. I feel like you're really just like, I gotta do my own thing. I gotta follow my inner soul and what it's calling me to do. And the Page of Earth is this idea that we get, this idea to pursue something. And we realize like, that might not be like the easiest journey, might be a long journey, but we're kind of like, I'm willing to do it because there's like a new kind of dream that you want to manifest. And I think that with the Page of Earth, there might be like a new career goal or something new that you desire to learn, like a skill that you desire to build, that you want to start doing and pursuing. The 9 of Earth is a very positive card that's all about independence, actually, which makes total sense in your group. So it's almost like your independence is shining in the month of May. Like, you're really going for your independence. The Nine of Earth is also a card where she has a lot of resources. So the month of May might bring you more resources and more ability to kind of like pursue your own path and go on this new journey. Maybe we're also making more money. The Nine of Earth is very much connected to making more money a lot of the times. Like, maybe some of you guys are like, oh, I want to open up my own business, or I want to expand my business, or what have you. And we're also unlocking keys to new knowledge. I think that you're wanting to open up new doors for yourself. But the only way to open up these new doors is to kind of go on a little bit of a solo journey here. Like, we might not have a bunch of people around us that are like helping us out. I feel like this is a little bit of a solo journey for you, group number 4. But I think that there's a lot of excitement behind it. And there's an ability to really like perfect certain skills and manifest like a new physical sort of like goal. I think you're starting on a new journey to manifest like a new physical goal. And a physical goal could mean like new career, new home, living somewhere else, making a big purchase, pursuing a new business, you know, whatever. But this is like sort of a new kind of physical goal that you're kind of going for here. We also have the King of Air. And so this is like a new idea, and also us grabbing hold of our communication skills a little bit more. We're realizing how we can better express ourselves, how we can better express our mind. And also it's you solidifying your thoughts, your beliefs, and your mind. You are starting to solidify what you believe in. You're starting to solidify your words and how you desire to communicate them, because the King of Air, he's honest and he's truthful, except he does know how to be honest and truthful in a way that's not like offensive and immature. He's very mature with how he handles things. So it's almost like you're stepping into this more mature place of being able to express yourself in a confident, mature manner, but you're learning how to be very authentic and kind of just like be your own person, rather than just like nodding your head and being like, yeah, totally. It's kind of like, I would express my real authenticity here, but we're learning how to do it in a more mature way. We also have the Three of Pentacles right here, the Three of Earth, and this can be when we're planning something. So there's something that I think that you are putting together for your future and building something, like working on something. This could just be in the planning process for some of you. Some of you, this could be investing your time and energy in a different area. Some of you, this could even be where we are gathering the right resources for this particular endeavor. I know earlier I said like it looks like you're doing this journey more alone, but it does look like at the end of the month you might have certain people that you meet or that you talk to that can like help you along this planning journey, or that offer some guidance and inspiration. Even though you're definitely like being your own leader here, I think that it's almost like you're learning how to be a leader by, you know, talking with some people and, you know, listening to advice, but you're only really absorbing things that truly resonate with you, things that feel right to you, rather than, you know, nodding your head and saying yes to like all sorts of things. I really think that you're just like learning how to be unique and learning how to plan, and also how to collaborate while keeping your uniqueness, because that's also another aspect of the Three of Pentacles. They know how to communicate while also being authentic and unique. That's actually a huge aspect of the Three of Pentacles, because if you look at the original depiction, there's like one person that's sort of like standing outside of like the group of the other two, which can talk about, you know, clients, us doing business with somebody, but it can also talk about somebody has a unique point of view that's different from the crowd, but they're still able to communicate and collaborate with that crowd. They're still able to, you know, be amongst them and offer their insight, but they offer something that's like kind of different. And so this could be you learning how to communicate those ideas and learning how to be authentically yourself when you're around other people. How to honor your authenticity. So I think that's going to be a huge theme for the month of May for you, group 4. The next few cards, we have the card of Earth Magic. I think you're connecting deeper to what your soul really desires, and connecting to like the flow of Earth, or like the magic of Earth. It's kind of like absorbing inspiration, absorbing ideas and energy that motivates you to go forward, that motivates you to move forward. It's like there's this life force energy that's kind of coming in. Earth magic can also be when we're starting to connect deeper with more nature, and maybe nature helps us feel rejuvenated. Earth magic can also be us planting ourselves where we want to actually grow, realizing, okay, what do I really want to do? What is the footprint I want to leave behind on the earth? How can I work my magic on this planet? Like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? This is also feeling an inspiration and a calling. This is a new beginning. It's number 1 right here. A new beginning after we've closed out an old chapter. Then we also have in perfect harmony. You're getting in alignment. We also have angel number, or master number 11. Master number 11 is when we accumulate all of our lessons from our past and we begin reflecting on those, and we become more of a master. I'm also seeing this as you defining a certain skill set or wanting to work on becoming good at something, which is also the Page of Pentacles. Wanting to perfect a particular skill. Wanting to get good at something. It's like you're starting a new journey and you're like, I'm kind of new at this, but like, I'm freaking excited and I'm so down and I'm here to put in the work. I'm here to learn what I got to learn. So it's like you getting in harmony with your song of life, you getting in harmony with the energy of Earth that's like calling you to really be unique, to stand out. You know, you've had this soul calling. Your soul is different for a reason. Your soul's not meant to just fit in, right? Because otherwise it would feel natural to do so. But I feel like you, group number 4, it doesn't necessarily always feel very natural to just nod our head and be like, yeah. So yeah, I feel like you're starting to go with the beat of your own drum, the beat of your own song, and you're starting to get in perfect harmony with yourself, with your own energy, rather than trying to be harmonious with everybody else, which is also fine. Like there's times and places for that. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we march to the beat of our own drum. That's the most important thing. But of course, you know, it's good to always have that reflection and see how we stand, you know, with the rest of the world, and also try to be harmonious with our song, but not in a way that compromises our authenticity. We also have bearing fruit. So this can be when we start making more money, something that we're working on starts bearing the fruits, the fruit of our labor. So something that we've been working on and doing is paying off. So we might notice a payoff in the month of May for something that we're pursuing. We might notice some encouragement, or that we are making more money, and that our hard work is paying off. So with that being said, the last 2 cards that we have for you, group 4, we have Heal the Ouch. There could be like an internal wound that kind of maybe is stopping us from pursuing certain things. There could be certain stresses. There could be something that we're going through that is being sort of healed during the month of May. We're healing something. This could be a health thing that we're going through. So some of you, if you've been going through maybe a health thing, this is clarification that is going to be healed in the month of May. But this can also be that maybe we're focusing on healing mental parts of ourselves, emotional parts of ourselves, or again, physical parts. So something is being tended to and healed. Ooh, we also have magical map shifter. So this can be when we kind of like shift up our fortunes and shift up what's kind of written for us. So if we were on a particular path and maybe we were pursuing something that we weren't really fully resonant with, or what have you, it's like you're shifting up your destiny to be something that you really desire. So the month of May is like this big shifting point for you, really, where you're closing out old chapters and finally, like, again, marching to the beat of your own drum and pursuing what you really want to. And I do think something that you've been putting a lot of work into, something that you've been putting a lot of effort into, there's going to be an opportunity for making more money or unexpected money coming in for our hard work, or just some sort of other kind of reward. It could be a different type of reward as well, where it's bearing fruit in some way, but I do see an increase of money for a lot of you who chose this pile. It's interesting that you also chose citrine, because citrine is very connected to money and abundance. So this is also confirmation that I do think you're going to be making more money in the month of May. So that is what we have here for you, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye.